morning children, you are welcome to my video lesson, and today again we will be starting with a very important lesson. And initially let us see one picture, and from this picture we will have to guess which lesson that we are going to start with. Now my dear children, what is this picture actually indicate? This picture is, so you can see a woman, you can see something round shape is there. What is this round shape or spherical shape? Actually is, so it is earth, and therefore it is the emblem of the earth day. So this earth day is celebrated for what particular purpose? To save the environment, because environment is very much important. Now my dear children, can you guess which lesson that we are going to start with, which has direct relation with environment? We are going to start with a particular lesson where we will see a simple story, but it is not so simple as it appears, because it gives lot of meaning, it gives a lot of indirect meaning or implied meaning, and therefore we will see that it is not a simple story of the king, but it is the story that actually tells about lot many things, including the political system of the country, the working of the democracy, the working of the kings, and those people, particularly those who are in the power. I suppose now you have forgot that we are going to start with the lesson. This is Vistas lesson number 2. The name of the lesson is, my dear children, the name of the lesson is the Tiger King. The Tiger King. So this lesson is written by a famous writer, and his pen name or the pseudonym, his pen name, P-E-N-N-A-M-E, pen name or pseudonym, P-S-E-U, pseudonym. Pseudonym was Kalki. So he was Kalki Krishnamurti. So what was the full name? He was Ramaswamy Krishnamurti Iyer. Ramaswamy Krishnamurti Iyer. My dear children, have you heard of Ramaswamy Krishnamurti Iyer earlier? So let us see. So this is Ramaswamy Krishnamurti Iyer or Kalki Krishnamurti. So he is an Indian writer. He was born in Tamil Nadu. So he was earlier. He was in the British Raj. Particularly, he was writing when India was fighting for the freedom, and therefore he is also a freedom fighter too. Now, to his credit, there are lot of category of writing, and he was a writer, he was a journalist, he was a poet, he was a critic, and he was an Indian independent worker. Now, my dear children, so we will see in this particular lesson, name of the lesson is the Tiger King. What the writer Kalki has in mind while he is writing this particular lesson. Let us see this one. So first you see the objectives. So every lesson has objectives behind it. Now here we will see what is the objective or the aim of writing this particular lesson. It actually talks about the sin. So when somebody is committing the sin, so what is the consequence of it? there will be retribution. There will be retribution. Retribution or penance, P-E-N-A-N-C, penance, means you will have to pay for. If you are doing something wrong, then you will have to pay for the same. That is the sin followed by the retribution. Again, the student will also be made familiar with satire, S-A-T-I-R-E. So, my dear children, do you know what is a satire? Satire is a particular device by using which the writer or the poet criticizes the system, the prevailing system. Why he criticizes? He criticizes in order to rectify or change. So, what he wanted to criticize? He wanted to criticize the political system, particularly the ruling class of the people, their whims, their wantonness, their unruly behavior, their indifferent attitude. All these things were considered. And they were mocked at or satirized. They were mocked at, M-O-C-K, mocked at, or they were derided, D-E-R-I-D, derided. Means making fun of those particular human weakness, so that they can get it rectified, and particularly the message also can be given, the powerful message also can be given to the children, the reader. Now, this also actually tells about the eco-friendly theme, eco-friendly. My dear children, you see, eco-friendly. So, while you go through the lesson, you will see, so there is a king. So, what sort of king he was? When he was born, he actually gives some prediction or foretelling, and after giving this foretelling, he was very much egoistic, and because of that he told that he will be giving the warning to the tiger, even though there was a prediction that he will be killed by the tiger. He was so egoistic that he gave the threat to the tiger that let the tiger beware, because the king Jang Bahadur is coming on the way, and therefore the tiger population in Pativadandapuram should be aware of it. This is the type of the warning he gave. And finally, what we notice is that, so he was killed not by the original tiger, but by the wooden tiger. The wooden tiger pierced his hand, and because of that he died. My dear children, in this way there is a use of the eco-friendly theme, and there is another thing, that is the dramatic irony. There is the dramatic irony. Now, my dear children, you see, what is a dramatic irony? So, irony, as you know, there is a verbal irony, there is irony of the situation, there is a dramatic irony, and here we will see there is a use of the dramatic irony. There is a use of the dramatic irony, and because of that, the king was killed by a very simple wooden tiger, and his death was caused by it. And therefore, towards the end of this lesson, you will see the doctor told that when he was being operated, the doctor told that the operation was successful, but the tiger is no more. The tiger king is no more. Therefore, this is the objective of the lesson. Now, there are lot message is given by the writer. It actually tells about the willfulness, the greed, the selfishness, the wanton nature of the people in power, and just by the use of the device, the satire and irony, he wanted to rectify those people, their greed for power, all this were wanted to be modified. Therefore, so now let us see the title. The title is Tiger King. So before proceeding, it is better that we justify the title. It refers to a particular king, and he was a very famous king. He was a very famous king, and at the age of 20, so he was coronated. He was crowned. He was a very famous Indian king under the British Raj, and therefore, as he was a very brave, or valiant, because of the manner in which he killed the tiger, it actually needs lot of valor. It needs the valor or courage. Valor or courage is needed in order to challenge and fight with the tiger, and he deserves eulogy. He deserves praise for his valor or for his courage. But my dear children, you will see that even though he was a very brave, so in the veil of this bravery, in the curtain of the bravery, so the writer wanted to tell that he was a very coward at heart. He was a very coward at heart because he wanted to save his life. He did not mind the activity of the country. He even did not mind the activity of his household, and therefore the whole lesson centered around this particular king, and it tells about the initial valor which turns out to be very futile exercise, and therefore the title is very much appropriate. Therefore, my dear children, when you will be asked justify the title the Tiger King, then you will be telling that the title, the Tiger King, means that the king Jang Bahadur. So he was a very brave king. Even then, his bravery become very futile because he was killed by an wooden tiger. Therefore, through this title also, the writer wants to give the message that human life and power is very temporary or very ephemeral in character, very temporary or very short-lived in character. Therefore, one should not be very much boastful about it. One should not be very much proud about it. Now, let us see, my dear children, we will be going through the analysis of the lesson, and then we will see so how this particular lesson talks about the Tiger King, and I will be telling the story in brief. Let us see. Now, before that, let us see the introduction of the lesson. I will be giving a brief introduction to the lesson. This introduction, along with the summary, will make you understand the lesson better. The king was a very famous king, and he was having a lot of adjective before his name. Sar Jilani Jang Bahadur. So he was Satya Vagra Samahari Maharaja Dhiraja Vishwa Bhuvana Samrat. So all these titles are given to tell that the king was very powerful king. Now what exactly happened when he was born? At his birth, there was the fortune teller. All right. So when a particular prince is born, then the king, what the king does, the kings arrange that the future of the child or the prince will be told. Then the fortune teller came, the fortune teller or soothsayer. Fortune teller or soothsayer. So they told, they actually initially hesitated to tell, because this is something very much ominous. This is very much ominous, means not auspicious. So it is having some ill omen, bad signal, means it is giving some signal of disaster. So the soothsayers, the fortune tellers, the astrologers, what the astrologers said that the tiger king will one day die, and then the 10 days child told that there is no novelty in your speech. There is no novelty in your speech because every person dies. Then if you tell that the manner in which the tiger king will die, then there will be some sense in it. Therefore, finally the astrologers, the fortune tellers were compelled to tell what they were not supposed to, what they did not actually want to tell. So they finally told, biting their lips, that the death of the king will occur due to a tiger. Then what happened finally at the age of 20? So when he was 20 years of old, then he was coronated. He was crowned as being the king of this particular place. Name of the place is Pratibandhapuram. So when he was crowned, then he gave some proclamation or declaration. So he gave the declaration in this manner: Suno, suno, suno. So in this way, the proclamation or the royal notice was served to the people that tiger killing in the forest of Pratibandhapuram is banned. Means if anybody try to kill any tiger in the forest of Pratibandhapuram, then he will be fined and all his property will be confiscated, and it will be seized and taken into or annexed into, joined into the property of the state. Therefore, people were very much alert and little unhappy, but the tigers were very happy because there was a ban on killing the tiger. But what happened? So it was said that only the king has the sole right of killing the tiger. Means nobody can kill the tiger. Nobody can kill the tiger. Therefore it is the sole property of the tiger king. So he will be killing the tiger, and what happened? So he postponed all the affair of the state and devoted himself to the killing of the tigers, and one after another. So he began to kill, and during 10 years time he killed 70 tiger, and finally he told or he reported to the Diwan. Diwan is a minister, and it was reported to the Diwan that he wants to get married to the princess of a particular country where there is more tiger population. So, finally, according to the proposal, the marriage occurred very soon, and then the tiger king went there, and every time he visited the father-in-law's kingdom or the territory, he had the habit of killing 5 or 6 tigers, and in this way he reached the target of killing 99 tigers. But there was only one shortage, and he remembered the prediction. He remembered the soothsayers or the astrologers saying the prediction that even though he kills the 99 tiger, he should be very much alert about the 100th tiger. Therefore, after 99 tiger population dwindled or became so less that no tiger was to be found. And finally, what the Diwan did, the Diwan was a practical minded person, and therefore, what he arranged the tiger. He managed to get the tiger from the circus, and the tiger was very lean and thin. It was brought back to the forest of the Patibandapuram, and it was reported to the king that yes, a tiger was seen in the forest of Patibandapuram, and accordingly the tiger king went there, and then he aimed at the tiger. The tiger was so weak or feeble that it fainted because of the sound, and then it fell down or collapsed. And finally, the tiger king thought that he killed the 100th tiger or the last tiger. He reached the target. He became very jubilant or happy, and then he told and ordered the Diwan that this tiger is to be taken to his court or to his royal palace in a great procession, so that people can remember his victory over the tiger. But what happened? The reality was that the tiger actually got fainted, and therefore, when they came to know, the officials came to know about this particular fact, then they felt that, then they smelt that it is something dangerous. Therefore, without reporting it to the king, they aimed at the tiger and killed it, and after killing, it was taken to the royal palace in a procession, and then a statue was made. So, in this way, the tiger king thought that he was safe from the tiger, and then he engaged in to the activity of his domestic life and his political career. Then it so happened that the third birthday of his son came, and he wanted to give a very memorable gift. He went to the market of Patibandapuram. So, he was searching for something remarkable, and he found a wooden tiger, and then he wanted to negotiate, and then finally he purchased the tiger for 300 rupees. And on the day of the birthday of the prince, the king and the prince, both of them were playing, but the workmanship of this wooden tiger was not so good, and therefore, so some quilt like structure, some feather like structure came out. So, it is the silver, it was a little rough, and it appeared in the hand of the king, and then there was a swelling and there was infection. So, he was hospitalized, and after the hospitalization, the doctor operated. The operation was successful, but the doctor reported very funnily, the doctor reported that the operation was successful, but the king is no more. So, this is in brief, my dear children, either the story. So, now here we will see. So, we will just see some of the important lines here from the text, and we will try to make the analysis of the same. So, after reading this lesson, when we make the analysis of this lesson, then certainly our critical reasoning develops. So, we will have to critically make analysis of the idea that was implied by the writer, which is not directly stated or mentioned. Therefore, let us see. The child born under this star will one day have to meet his death. O wise prophet, it was I who spoke. This time there was no ground for doubt. It was the infant born just 10 days ago who had enunciated the words so clearly. This is the part which is uttered by the small infant of 10 days. He was telling, all those who were born will one day have to die. We don't need your predictions to come to know that. There would be some sense in it if you could tell us the manner of the death. The royal infant uttered this word in his little squawky voice. So, we will see, this is something miraculous, something unnatural. In this manner, he uttered this word, and then slowly and gradually so it is the prediction of the astrologer. He was telling the prince was born in the hour of the bull and the tiger are enemies, and therefore death comes from the tiger, he explains. So, he was giving that detailed explanation. He was telling that he was born in the hour of the bull, and the bull and tigers are enemy, and therefore his death will occur due to the tiger. Finally, the coronation was over. He was crowned as the king, and finally he remembered the prediction. Accordingly, what he did, he decided to defend himself, and he was very much happy, thrilled beyond measure. He was very much happy when he killed his first tiger. But the astrologer said that, Your Majesty may kill 99 tiger in exactly the same manner, but the astrologer drawled, means the astrologer did not like to speak. There was a fear in his mind. So, finally, some incoherent voice was there, and it was told that he will have to be very much alert about the last tiger. So, finally, here you will see there is some use of irony here, and through this you will get to know about the wisdom of the diwan. At one moment he was in danger of losing his throne, because he gave a prohibition order or ban in the country, stating that killing of the tiger is totally impossible task. You cannot kill the tiger. There was a ban on it. But what exactly happened? A British officer wanted to kill the tiger. He actually wanted to show his ferocious quality or bravery, and therefore he wanted to be snapped just by the sight of the carcass of the tiger. But it was not granted by the king, and finally he had almost to lose his throne, but because of the wisdom of the diwan, some gift item was ordered from Calcutta, and in this way he managed to recover from the disaster. Now see, finally, so he began to kill the tiger, and he continued killing within 10 years time he was able to kill 70 tigers. And finally, there was no tiger to be found at all, and therefore he decided to marry. The marriage was over. Maharaja Jangjang Bahadur killed 5 or 6 tigers each time he visited his father-in-law's house. In this manner, 99 tigers were skinned around the wall of the reception hall in Patibandapuram palace. My dear children, you see this part, when the hunter in the ancient time, when they went for hunting, and when they were successful in hunting, then they kept particularly the head on the drawing room just to show their bravery or valor. So in the similar manner, the Tiger King also kept the reception room or the drawing room in Patibandapuram palace with the skin of 99 tigers. So he was worried about the last one, and then the astrologers the foretelling he was remembering. He should be very much aware of the last tiger. So the tiger was finally arranged. The Diwan was very much concerned. He went home convinced that if the Maharaja did not find the tiger soon, the result could be catastrophic or disastrous. Means he may lose his job. Therefore, finally, the tiger was arranged from the circus in Madras. It was brought to the forest, and the king was called, and the king aimed at the target, and the tiger was killed. So he finally proclaimed, I have killed the 100 tiger, my vow has been fulfilled. The Maharaja was overcome with elation. Elation means extreme joy. He was extremely joyous. So when you are successful in the examination, when you are winner in the field, then you have extreme joy. Your joy knows no bound or limit. So in the similar manner, the Tiger King also was extremely happy after killing the last or 100 tiger. Therefore, now he will be giving his attention to the affair of the state and affair of the house, affair of his house. So that the birthday came, you will see that on that day, father and the son played with that tiny little wooden tiger. This is the wooden tiger purchased from the market of Patibandapuram, and this wooden tiger was little rough because of the workmanship, because the craftsman was not very much expert. So because of that, what happened? It pierced the hand of the Maharaja, and finally there was infection, and because of that he was hospitalized. 3 famous surgeons who were brought in from Madras after holding a consultation. They decided to operate. Famous doctors were called, and then the doctor decided that it is better to operate on the infected areas, and the operation was done. The 3 surgeons who performed it came out of the theatre and announced the operation was successful, the Maharaja is dead. Quite paradoxical statement. My dear children, do you know what is paradox? Paradox is a particular statement where in a particular sentence itself there will be two parts. There will be two parts in a particular sentence. In a particular sentence, there will be two parts, part 1 and part 2. And part 1 will give an idea which will be completely contradictory to the second part or part 2. And here also you will see, operation was successful. The Maharaja is dead. So every audience they begin to laugh because this particular idea, if the operation is successful, how can the Maharaja die? Therefore, this is a paradoxical statement. One part of the statement is contradictory to the other. Therefore, the audience begin to laugh. And through this, the writer gives a powerful message. In this manner, the hunted tiger took its final revenge upon the tiger king. So that the tiger king was very much boastful about his power, about his valor, about his energy, was killed by a very mere wooden tiger. Therefore, life is very temporary, power is also very temporary or ephemeral, and therefore we should not be boast of the power or energy, and it is quite temporary for everybody. This message that the writer give along with the message of the satire, because this lesson is a satire on. So, in the exam, my dear children, this question will come, this lesson is a powerful satire on those people who are in power. Then first you will have to tell the theory. Yes, this lesson is a powerful satire, because just by using the dramatic irony, the writer wanted to tell how the power and the pride is so temporary in the face of the fate or destiny. So, he wanted to tell also about the political system. He wanted to mock at the political system, the people in the power, how they are unmindful about their activity, how they indulges in the foolish kind of affair, and these are the indirect hint that he passes from time to time throughout the lesson. So, this is the end of the lesson. My dear children, I suppose you understood it. So, only one question we will see here. So, towards the end you see, this question is very important question. The story is a satire on the conceit of those in power. How does the author employs the literary device of dramatic irony in the story? So, you see, many of the terms are very unfamiliar with you. One is satire, this is discussed. Another one is conceit. Conceit means the extreme pride. Another one is dramatic irony. Dramatic irony also up already discussed. Dramatic irony is a particular irony that is used in a particular situation which is totally unknown to the person. So, he is the protagonist or the hero is working, he is thinking that something good is going to happen, but something just the opposite happens, and therefore, just by using the dramatic irony in the story, the writer wanted to tell that power is quite temporary, and he also tells that the powerful people are very much egoist, and their egoism is very temporary, and the end is only the last, or the end of the greed is only death. So, my dear children, this is the end of the lesson. We will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.